Hey everyone, it's Alex, and welcome to this Marvel Snap video. We're going to be discussing the most recent Season Pass card in Marvel Snap, which is Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps. Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps is a 6/12 that reads, "My Herald is the next character I see you play. End of turn, +2 power if you're winning my Herald's location." And Galactus has to be either in your hand or in play to get this benefit. So a couple things. First of all, yes, Marvel Snap's releasing an absolute shit ton of cards right now, and as a result, I'm going to be kind of reevaluating how I cover some cards here and there. Like I might kind of group the Series 4 cards together, so stay tuned for some updated videos this week. I'm going to be playing a lot of Marvel Snap and a lot of streaming this coming week here in order to kind of, evaluate as many cards as possible. So you might see some different approaches to content creation. Like this video is very clearly the classic, is so-and-so good type thing, but I might kind of amalgamate some videos here in order to kind of make it more valuable to you guys. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Talking about Galactus specifically, on the Snapchat, I discussed Galactus with Dexter, and I was a little more on the upbeat side, and Dexter had his concerns, basically stating that the in-hand or in-play element of this card really did nullify its capabilities. I do see it very comparable to the evolved version of Hulk, both of which start at 6/12 and have to be in-hand or in play to get some sort of benefit. In the case of the Hulk, you have to be floating energy, and in the case of Fantastic Four First Steps Galactus, you have to be winning the given location. Considering I play a lot of Evo, and I always usually have Hulks at like 18 to 20 power regularly, I felt like Galactus is likely to get to that threshold as well, and yes, he did. He often got very large, and so if we're talking about pure power output, Galactus was capable of getting well over 16, 18 to 20 power on a regular basis. However, it did require that we draw into him, and a couple of these shells that we were playing, because we had like, Wiccan shells with Quicksilver and stuff like that, not drawing Galactus was actually relatively problematic. We often did not have him, although we had some other win conditions in the case of like, a Cannonball and a Mercury or whatever. Like the decks were relatively well designed. One of the things that I encountered here, and I'll discuss the decks, was that I feel like this past season, we literally experienced the greatest amount of power creep we've probably ever experienced in Marvel Snap's history. The cards that came out were all very, very good. Even the cards that on their surface seemed like they were like, not as great as some of the other ones, like Invisible Woman First Steps is insane, right? Human Torch, insane. Mr. Fantastic, insane. And even something like The Thing or Herbie, those are excellent cards in their own right, but like the power creep levels were so high. What we found here in the kind of early versions of our ranking experience with the Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps was that when we're playing against highly refined Invisible Woman decks or highly refined, Fantastic card decks or highly refined whatever decks from the prior season, Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps doesn't seem to be effectively trading punches. Now, there's a couple things happening here. First of all, the card is getting powerful, but there's so much happening from a tech perspective that like he's getting Shun-Chi'd or he's getting deleted or Negasonic or whatever, right? There's a lot happening from that perspective. But the other thing is a lot of these decks are so combo-centric and they're heavily refined and their power outputs are astronomical. What's happening is that the Galactus decks in testing, because they're not as refined, aren't competing as effectively in the ladder against these like very refined power crafted decks. And so I'm concerned because Galactus didn't feel like he was winning for me very often. But I wonder if it's indicative of the card's power level or indicative of the fact that it's a brand new style of play, almost similar to Sanctum Sanctorum, and we're still trying to cook decks, right? We're trying to cook decks and figure out what's good and what's not. Every card when it first comes out isn't meeting its full potential off the bat because we need to figure out what works and what doesn't. And for that reason, I am still slightly optimistic on Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps. But I would be remiss to say that, like, honestly, his performance wasn't excellent in the ranking process. There are definitely higher performing decks that I think will get you to infinite faster than the ones that I was playing here. We do have some outliers. There were one in particular that I felt was playing particularly well, but overall, that's my concern. Galactus didn't give a great first impression. He had good power output, but some of the power output on some of these over-tuned, refined decks from last season are just simply outperforming it. Like they were putting out so much power that it was difficult to compete unless we had the tech to deal with, which I did make a deck which was specifically designed to counter the ranking experience we had. So with that being said, let's talk about the decks. Now, I know that in the exposition that I just gave, I sounded a little bit down on Galactus, and sure, I am a little bit, but what I will tell you is that some of these decks did have some high-performing stats and did do particularly well. I just have concerns against the really refined list I was seeing on the ranked ladder. So this one here is Evolved Heralds. Now, this is an example of a deck that honestly performs very well on its own, and Galactus is kind of a nice addition to it from a gameplay perspective. The reason for this is because whatever your Herald happens to be, things like Cyclops, does a good job of helping to hold that location down and steady. The other thing I really like about this deck is the use of Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, which allows you alongside Magic to almost consistently on turn 6 and 7 play Hulk and Galactus, because people are floating a lot of energy right now. And in fact, some of the decks that we are seeing out there are relying on things like the Invisible Woman, Prodigy, and Sunspot combination in order to float as much energy as possible. And as a result, Thaddeus is effectively drawing the Galactus and the Hulk. The challenge is that even with those two cards on turns 6 and 7, we're still getting into power battles with some of these decks, which is insane because like you're talking about Galactus, Fantastic Four, First Steps, and the Hulk, like who the hell's trading with these cards power-wise, and still it's actually happening. But this deck was one of our more successful ones. It was a very clean kind of one to operate and was one of the ways that Galactus did seem and play the best. Going off from there, we had a whole bunch of different approaches to try to deal with the meta. This was called Pet the Herald. Essentially, the reason why we call this Pet the Herald is because it has Fenris Wolf and you pet the wolf. You probably should not pet wolves, but anyways, you guys get what I mean. This deck was specifically designed to counteract a lot of the Invisible Woman decks we were seeing alongside Galactus. Now, what you were doing here was you had the Quicksilver, which does limit the amount of opportunity you have to draw into Galactus, which over the 4.5 hours or whatever that I played, I did feel the effect of something like a Quicksilver. However, this deck has the Killmonger, which wipes out a lot of the foundation that those decks are trying to achieve, especially since those end of turn decks with the Prodigies are running like Squirrel Girls and stuff like that. And so I do think that Skillmonger was an excellent choice here. Negasonic is fantastic for trading as well, and Wiccan was a great choice ultimately. You have the Mercury Cannonball Closer alongside Galactus. This deck was solid. It's a really good approach to playing the current meta. No surprises there, because what you're doing is combining a couple very effective shells in here, and would it be surprising to see that they were good? Now, this deck was very fun, but I wouldn't go towards saying that this is a competitive list I would recommend you play. And the idea was, what if I just do everything on curve, right? If you have Galactus in your starting hand, you do the Quicksilver Domino, and you have an assortment of 3 and 4 drops to do a great job of holding that initiative, and obviously getting you an opportunity to cheat out that Galactus early. Leader was a bit of cope. I just wanted to give it a shot. Stardust, I wanted to give it a shot as well. But what I will tell you is the idea of playing Quicksilver and Domino, it was too much. We were almost never drawing Galactus First Steps at all. Like, basically stuffing your first 2 draws made it so almost we were never playing that Herald, and then as a result, all the other cards were doing nothing, because like if you don't have a Herald, then Drax and everything else kind of falls apart. So this deck obviously really underperformed. I would not recommend you doing it, but I wanted to showcase the idea of going around about a Quicksilver and Domino list. I did try to do something called the Pryde of Galactus, which was a Kitty Pryde Silk shell, where my thought was, well, what if we have a lot of like movement and a lot of power? Like, what if Silk is the Herald of Galactus? You know, does that generate power for us? What if Batroc is the Herald of Galactus? Are we able to move the target that our opponent is trying to seek out? This deck did put up a lot of power. We did do pretty well with it. It was just a good shell. Is Galactus needed in this list? Probably not. If you cut Galactus and you do kind of like a Cannonball Mercury version, you're probably at a higher win rate, honestly. But it was still an interesting opportunity to test the new card if you're interested in doing that. And Kitty Pryde is a really cool Herald of Galactus. The only problem is a lot of the meta decks right now are running Squirrel Girl as an opener, which owns the initiative off the bat, and Kitty Pryde will not win that turn 1 against the Squirrel Girl at any cost, right? So that's one of the challenges there. An evolution from that deck was this Herald Bloodstone, where we wanted to incorporate some of the infective packages. This is something we kind of came to as we kept testing. This deck was actually pretty good. I did like it a lot. Again, you have the Kitty Pryde, you have the Elsa Bloodstone, which is really effective alongside the Luna Snow, because you can fill a location with Luna Snow, pump it on turn 4, and then have enough energy to play the Galactus on turn 5 because of the extra energy afforded by the Luna Snow. And then you can obviously on turn 6 do a Cannonball and Cannonball Mercury combination alongside Kitty Pryde. The other thing worth noting is Luna Snow gives you an extra energy to consistently play on curve with Kitty Pryde plus whatever you would usually play on that given turn. So this deck performed pretty well. Again, reliant on Magic. We're not seeing a lot of Merlin, so Magic makes a little more sense despite the fact that I think Merlin is good. But if you're interested in giving this a shot, I think it does work well with this particular card because you do have cards that take advantage of that initiative granting ability, whether it is the Rocket Raccoon becoming the Herald, Kitty Pryde being the Herald, etc., or even Angela, which does pretty good job scaling upwards. Now, to sum up my thoughts on Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps, it's kind of tricky because the nuance of getting a Season Pass card is not lost on me because it represents by far the best value for a Series 5 card you can get in Marvel Snap. The $10 US you spend, you could never buy with tokens to get a Series 5 card, so it's always represented the best value. Moreover, you get the progression of variants and all those boosters and gold and credits and everything you get with the Season Pass. So if you're going to spend $10 on Marvel Snap, this is the best $10 you can spend. The challenge, though, and I hate to reiterate over and over again, was that Galactus didn't seem like he was competing effectively against the stars of last season. And as a result, I think one of two things is going to happen. One, there's a chance that this card gets buffed because I don't think it's going to impress in first impressions, and I suspect it's going to impact the amount of season passes that get sold. The other thing that you're likely to see is now that the season pass has been sold last month, some of those cards are going to get nerfed. Some of those cards are sincerely overperforming and doing a tremendous amount of damage to the viability of this coming season, because why would you invest in these cards if you can just buy those cards, which are clearly better? And the very cynical side of me says, well, they already got their money, so they're going to nerf the crap out of some of those things. The challenge here is that the Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps isn't far from being a good card. Like, I don't think it's not far off from the likes of Evolved Hulk or Red Hulk or whatever. It's not that far. The challenge is that there are so many refined decks that just outperform this style of play that if you're looking to rank up, I think there's better options elsewhere. Anyways, I know it's a very convoluted way of saying probably wait. If you're someone who only buys the season pass for the card and you're not going to buy the season pass if the card's not a high performer, I'm not precisely sold on it right now. So definitely save your money. You do have an entire month to decide whether or not you want to buy Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps. His first impressions definitely underwhelmed me. But that also might be because we have some cracked decks out there right now that are absolutely clapping cheeks, and maybe the Galactus decks just aren't there yet. And with some more cooking, maybe he'll get there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We do have some fantastic gameplay highlights that are worth watching here to give you an idea of what he is capable of, and I hope you enjoy those gameplay highlights. All right, Bobbert. Make the dream come true, Bobbert. The Herald of Galactus, not net yet. Oh, they're playing the Herald of Galactus. Their Galactus is now getting juiced. I'm concerned. I'm gravely concerned. What do I do? We stack the 5 power here. Elysium goes pretty hard for us. We hold Elysium. Galactus not getting the love that he thinks he deserves. Very sad. As our own Galactus, who's going to be the Herald of Galactus? I suspect that the Herald of Galactus will be Cyclops. Cyclops, you are now the Herald of Galactus. We want to win Baxter Building, but I think we want to at the very least start pew-pewing this here. We're going to give up 4 power here. Misty Knight, lol, rip. So they're going to have initiative, but we're going to hold Elysium. So our Galactus is getting juiced. Their Galactus is not getting juiced. They're sad. We're not. That's what's happening here today, friends. We are going to magic, because I believe in magic. We're going to magic here. We'll get rid of Nadolvalier, because I don't think we're going to fill it effectively. Could do it on turn 5. Now let's do it now. We're floating a lot of energy, aren't we? Let's do it now. Oh, copycat? What is this? It's my Misty Knight? Okay. We're just going to pew-pew you. We're going to continue to pew-pew you for quite a few turns here, friend. G-Man has been denied. Their G-Man has been denied. Now, we have both G-Man and the Hulk present. If we do Mr. Fantastic First Steps, we can... Maybe we do this. Do this. Drop this. We double pump these two Galactus. Double pump here. Is it enough to trade? Let's try this. I think this is kind of interesting. It's an early Invisible Woman. Redshift on the Agatha. Oh my god, it is Agatha Harkness. We had concerns that Agatha Harkness could potentially be rearing her ugly head. This guy is cooking, though, with Agatha plus Gladiator. Now, the pew-pews are going to be the difference maker here. Okay, Fanta is going to double pump. So more power on Hulk. Galactus First Steps going to get the double. Or just not the double, I guess. We're going to play this here. We're going to slam this here. Flip the board. And then we have the Hulk in hand. I would snap, but I kind of want to see this playthrough. So they're going with the massive Ebony Blade there. Ebony Blade is chunky, make no mistake, but now they're full. Their G-Man does get some juice. But now they're just cooked, man. What can they do to clap my cheeks? I don't think they clap my cheeks. I think that they're suspect to my clappage. This is going to go here just in case something stupid happens. I know, we just went here. Are they anticipating that I... Oh, Blarvel! Good thing I made the read on the Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross on the right. Thaddeus actually coming in clutch there. It's a good one. A lot happened there. Fun game. Fun game. Ironically, this has been our most successful deck so far with Galactus. Thunderbolt Ross, maybe not as necessary as we think, but I mean, he is drawing cards. It's just he's only going after the two. But I don't think there's enough room here. Like, if we get a Red Hulk, sure. If we add Red Hulk in, if we add She-Hulk. I don't think we want She-Hulk, though. This deck doesn't want to play She-Hulk. I'm just thinking about, like, Thaddeus. Is it worth just to try to maximize getting Galactus? You know what I mean? Is it worth it? I really like the way that, like, this card makes you think about where you want to play. Like, part of me wants to put it in Superflow because I know they don't want to play there. But because we're going to have 3 energy here, I can play Rocket and Groot here. And I think he feasts. Oh my gosh. It's too much energy. It's too much energy. We'll play Rocket and Groot here. This is ridiculous. I need to turn these off. I don't really benefit from these. I mean, I can get the Galactus out super fast. But they can get whatever the hell they want out super fast. Okay, Victoria hand gameplay. Into Frigga, wild. Okay, that's going to pay dividends for them, obviously. And they're going to flip the Elysium into an Onslaught Citadel, no less. Unbelievable. Well, at least they're going to put a Victoria hand there. That's the problem. Victoria hand's going to go there. Once in Future is not what we're looking for. We will play Once in Future here. He needs to stay there for a sec. This is crazy, man. What kind of screw job is this going to be? Oh, they're just playing Surge straight up? Okay. So Galactus is getting huge for what it's worth. Can play it on the next turn. Gwenpool into Omniversal Presence. Or into Galactus. Gotta get rid of this Onslaught Citadel. It's too cringe. We got some Infinity Ultron gameplay. You gotta be kidding me. 620 Galactus. I think we throw him down now, honestly. I think we slam his ass down now. We just slam his cheeks down now. Get him down. And then we see what happens on the next turn. We do have a rather large Gamora. We have a good setup here. The Ancient One. Huh. It's cooking a little bit. Obviously because Ancient One Victoria hand gameplay goes hard. They could cook us, man. There's definitely a chance that we get our cheeks clapped here. There's definitely cheek clapping opportunities present. So, thinking very critically about the movement of Werewolf by Night. +4 power is pretty significant in this location. Move this. Even though he gets +2 power here. Move this. Pump this. It jumps. He's going to win here. This guy's getting juiced. Sick. I'm glad that happened. I don't know if I can move this. I don't know if I should move it. Maybe it's this. Let's try this. I don't know if this wins. Werewolf by Night bounces twice. We should trade this. Will Rocket Raccoon trade here? I think there's ways that we lose this, but let's try it this way. That second Victoria Hand and the Quinjet do make a big difference. Infinity Ultron goes pretty hard too. I'm interested in seeing what they do. Okay. It's big power. That's big power there. Oh. Talmandala goes hard there, for sure. Okay. That was a close game. We ultimately get the win. Very close game. Victory. And, I mean, Galactus Fantastic Four First Steps does represent 24 power single-handedly in a lane. And he competed with Infinity Ultron, Victoria Hand, like, absolutely juiced from the other Victoria Hand. Like, it is 24 power in a solo lane. Actually, thinking about it, we put up a tremendous amount of power this game. Like, across the board, this is a lot of power for 6 turns. So maybe there is some potential here. The major challenge with this deck is if you don't draw Galactus, then you're kind of cooked, right? Okay, there's Wiccan. So we have our curve. So not drawing Galactus in the opening hand does make it difficult with Domino and Quicksilver, but you do have the more or less guaranteed Wiccan synergy. So if we get Galactus, our Herald's going to be the Rocket and Groot, which is awesome. Put him middle, maybe. Could even put him on the right. Playing down the score. Not what I expected. Shadowlands cringe. Galactus once again at the bottom of the deck. We haven't seen him in like an hour at this point. Literally have not seen Galactus once. There he is! He's here. We did it. We drew Galactus. And Wiccan is the Herald of Galactus. What are the chances? What are the chances that it's Wiccan? I think we might throw Galactus into the Morbius lane, see if we can trade that. And then what we'll do is we'll lead her to the next turn. What do you guys think? Do we try this? Get Galactus out now, lead her next turn. What are they going to play? They do see that Galactus is getting juiced, yeah. They see Galactus pop up near my portrait. With that being said, am I the only one playing Galactus right now? I think a lot of people will think this card's probably cringe because I'm not seeing a lot of play of Galactus. He's down, we win, he goes to 16. We have Eliath. The question is, where do we Eliath? I'm not sure. I mean, with their deck, they're not going to just drop the Apocalypse, so Leader's probably not the best choice. We could do Groot Drax. If I were them, I would MODOK here. Sometimes you get a read. Sometimes you get a read. We finally got Galactus. We got to win. That's exciting. That's exciting. All right. Yeah, 18 power on turn 5, by the way. Wiccan into Galactus Goliath. Like, this deck, I don't know. I feel like Quicksilver dominoes too much. Like, it's too much. And it makes it hard to draw into the card. I think we're close, though. Maybe Wiccan's going to be the way to go, though. I think we might be close. Maybe we'll try a different Wiccan version. Man, Eternity Range. Where is my Galactus at? Oh, it's Merlin Sag. Well, we can't play Magic in a Merlin game, so that's that. Oh, of course it's Magic that gets hit by the Fantastic. What a stupid joke. What an absolute joke, man. Okay. Invisible Woman becomes the Herald of Galactus. Omniversal Presence comes down. Invisible Woman accepts her task here. We'll play this. Get some pew-pews happening here. Hopefully Fanta hits one of these two with a discount. That would be very nice. Gwenpool, I respect it. Oh, no discount. Sag, and this is where Mr. Fantastic makes me a little sad, but... Can we bait them with Magic? Probably not, eh? Ironically, Magic might be our best play here. Because they're going to want to get rid of it, right? Wow. We do pump it, though. So we have a 5 cost. We're in trouble. They can probably blow up the Limbo. They can probably blow up Limbo. Let's see. Maybe we don't. Do we have to do this? Let's do it now. Maybe not. I'm just thinking. Invisible Woman, deactivate. They never blow up Limbo. Stereo, what's this though? Enchantress. So they didn't have what it took. They actually did not draw the card. Crazy. Okay. Wow. Was not expecting that. So now we go Fantastic First Steps. We roll double pews. Pew, 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 pew. Pump, pump. See if this takes us there. An interesting game nonetheless. Like, they know I have a massive Galactus. Bishop. Shongers. Shongers, that's a play. That's a play that is effective. Can't confirm that, to be honest. Diamondback. Interesting. Uh-oh. Just not enough. Shongers was enough to beat us there. Yeah. And we weren't able to flip the +3 on Monster Metropolis. Yeah, good on him. It's Monster Metropolis difference here. Even with the double proc on the Cyclops. I wonder had I played something else a little differently, if we could have made a difference. We were just talking about Galactus, and look who comes. Should we actually try to save this? Like, not play in a location and just surprise G-Man, or what? You guys okay with that? We keep the option open for surprise G-Man? Keep in mind, the next card we play is the Herald of Galactus, which is going to be... We're going to play Fanta here, I think. Thaddeus not as necessary with Galactus present in hand. Magic discounted. Are they playing? Oh, they're playing Agatha. This is 100% Agatha. 100p Agatha. Not a doubt about it. Not a doubt about it. Not a doubt about it, it's Agatha. Yo, I'm hitting this Vibranium Mine so hard with G-Man. They're never going to feel it. They're going to be like, there's no way this guy plays G-Man with a magic on board. Okay, he's a 618, 620. Play Clown Car. Keep the juice coming. They never drew a thing for Agatha? Oh, bruh. Okay, 622. Play this here. Drop this as well. I'm going to proc this because we're playing Galactus. And I want them to think that we're not. Yes, this is correct. Let's do it. This will gain +1 though. Tell me this G-Man play is gonna work. We don't deserve it, man. Oh, so close. G-Man's a 610. Look at our hand. It's 2 Galactuses. What are we gonna do? You know what we're gonna do. We're gonna Vibranium Mines Galactus. We're gonna make them kneel. We have to make them kneel. Oh no, they're playing there too. And now the limbo's gone. Oh, it's Agatha! Yes! That game was so stupid, but it's absolutely worth it. All right, we got some stuff here. We got Surge into Magic. I believe in Magic. We can't destroy our Herald, by the way. So maybe we don't follow up with Magic yet. Maybe we do Fanta into Mercury here. Keep the dream alive. Keep Galactus getting pumped here. If they play Dawkin or Bullseye, we have some reason to be concerned. Dawkin not so much because we do have Cannonball in our hand. Nicolas Cage. Okay. Nicolas Cage. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta love Nicolas Cage, man. You know what? You just play Luna Snow. Because we want the power, because they're obviously trying to contest us here. Abs, man? What the this is a player, not a bot. We checked before. What? My man, are you inebriated? Usually I'm the one who's inebriated making poor decisions. You're just out here making me look good with these excessively inebriated decisions. Elsa Bloodstone coming down. I've really liked Ross. The Ross version of the deck we were playing was currently the best feeling one for Galactus. Hazmat. Okay, Luke Cage, Hazmat. So they're looking for that Ajax play soon. We can also destroy... we're not going to want to destroy anything here. We're going to go Galactus mid into the Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde being free is so broken. It's one of the reasons why Surge is in this deck. Yeah, this is not a bot. This is a player who's just having a really bad time. Losing on Hala and losing the Luke Cage and everything is probably pretty rough for them. There's G-Man mid. Okay, Odin, right? Like, they're playing kind of body. Like, what was their collection level again? 20,000? I don't know, man. Maybe they are a bot. What do I know? We'll do this. This is nasty, man. We'll just pump this. I don't know. We'll just pump this. This is so unnecessary. But I'd like to destroy something. Let's do it. I hope I lose somehow. I hope they find some, like, miracle play that completely demolishes me. That's what I really want. Wrong. Wait. Wrong what? Okay, they tried, man. They tried to cook. G-Man survives. All right, GG Snip Snap. I wasn't sure what your plan was, but I respect that you went for something interesting. I respect it.